You ever notice how some historical images kind of stick with you? Even when they're, well, not quite accurate. Like we see all these facts we think we know, but they're more fiction than history when you really dig in.
Right. It's amazing how much of what we think we know about the past comes from, like, pop culture rather than actual historical evidence.
Exactly. And today, we're tackling a big one.
I'm
I'm
fancy-
talking, of course, about the Viking with the horn helmet. It's everywhere. Operas, cartoons, you name it.
Oh, yeah. It's a powerful image for sure. Definitely grabs your attention. But let's see what the actual history of Viking helmets tells us.
All right, so let's get into it. What do we actually find when we look at, Viking artifacts in
Yeah.
terms of headwear?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. There are actually zero, like literally no horned helmets have ever been found in any Viking archaeological site.
Seriously.
Yep. We found pieces of helmets, even some that are really well preserved, but not a single one with horns.
So if Vikings weren't wearing them, where did this whole horn helmet thing even come from? It feels like it's been around forever.
Okay, so this is where it gets even more interesting. The horned helmet, like the one we picture in our heads, really became a thing in the 19th century, mostly because of the costumes they used in Richard Wagner's operas, specifically Der Ring des Nibelungen.
Wagner, not exactly known for historical accuracy, is he? So are you saying these helmets were like a theatrical thing for these operas?
Exactly. They wanted a strong visual for the Viking characters, something that would make them look kind of, barbaric and fierce on stage. So horns kind of fit that image.
Okay, but how did something from an opera end up becoming the standard image everyone has of a Viking?
Well, from those opera costumes, you get all these illustrations and paintings that start showing Vikings with horns. And then later, movies and cartoons draw inspiration from those images, and bam, the horned helmet becomes the visual shorthand for a Viking. Basically, an artistic choice becomes what everyone thinks is historical fact.
It's like a historical myth that just keeps going and going. But okay, why does it even matter? So what if the Vikings we picture are a little more opera than reality?
I think, there's a bigger point here. Understanding these historical inaccuracies actually matters because, first, it helps us see the past more clearly. We can appreciate the real Viking culture, not just a made-up image. And second, it helps us think critically. Like, once you realize how an image can get so separated from the truth, you start to question other things you see and hear.
That makes a lot of sense. Just because something is a popular image doesn't make it true, right? We have to be willing to dig a little deeper.
Totally. Especially today, with so much information out there, you need a good filter. You got to be able to separate facts from fiction.
Well, I'd say this has been a pretty fascinating deep dive into Viking headwear. Turns out it was more about what they weren't wearing.
Yeah, it really shows how a catchy visual, even if it's inaccurate, can become the dominant narrative. It shapes how people view history.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder what other facts we believe are actually just like myths we've accepted without question. What other pieces of history we think we know might actually have a little opera drama mixed in. It's a good reminder to think critically about the stories we've been told.
You got it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.